Hello, Yeti Nation. Get down to the Bag Square Brewing Company, downtown Utica. Fay Farms, where's the beef at? Contact Jimmy Fay. Family Landscaping, make your neighbors green with envy. Contact Russ. The Black River Ale House, where the Romans go. Dura Products, who's got the pipe? Jimmy Fay's got the pipe. Contact Jimmy Fay for irrigation, drainage, pool, and spa. You building a new house, contact Jimmy Fay. He's got your stuff. The B-Dry System. Your basement's wet? Get a hold of B-Dry. Believe in 271. Nobody fights alone. Eric Kiefer, LUTCF, your local representative. George Kaler, Sales and Service. Liberty Affordable Housing. Rome Sign and Display Company. Nice Scoba. The men and women in blue, thank you for what you do. Robert Dix Insurance Agency. Contact Bobby Dix. Tri-City Lacrosse. 40 years of summer fun. Master Vito Hyundai. Contact the sales force. CRM Rental Management. The Clinton Tractor and Implement Company. Contact the Caledona family. Hello, Yeti Nation. Get down to the Bag Square Brewing Company, downtown Utica. Fay Farms, where's the beef at? Contact Jimmy Fay.
Hello, Yeti Nation. What is up, Paul Noecker?
Greg Beecher, how you doing, brother?
I
What
am-
up, everybody? What up, Yeti Nation? What a week.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. It was crazy. We didn't get down to the Firewolves game right away, unfortunately, but when we did, it was a great game from when we were there. I can tell you that much.
I can tell you what I watched. It looked like it was going to be a barn burner, and it was kind of a barn burner. It was a great game to watch.
Yeah, no, it was great. Like I said, we got there after the a little into the second quarter. We watched Rochester score 2 goals. I saw not the goal that you were just talking about with Launchberry's second one, but I do believe we have it here to take a look at. So we will be kind of going through the replays. I definitely cheated this week. I'll admit to everybody, we just stole these off of YouTube. So my apologies if you've seen them already. But Rochester, they scored quick, then Albany scores. This was on a delayed penalty. That was from way out. I don't think anybody thought that was going to go in. That was a distant shot.
That was out there.
That was, the shot
on the
clock's running down. You just see the shot clock's running down, and Simmons is like, I got this.
Well, he's got the screen right in front. There's no question. He noticed the defender step in front of Dougie's eyes, and boom.
Hutchcraft. That's not Dougie. Wrong side.
Oh yeah. My bad. Yeah, Hutchcraft.
Yeah, no, he steps right in Hutchcraft. But you see, I noticed a common theme here, and I mean, I got the question mark up there now, but you see how many guys are over there. Everybody goes down, so they're down a man when you count it out, and it actually looks like it's 4-on-4 unless they're leaving a guy high. But you've got 1, 2, 3, all those guys sitting right on that left side. You see the little question mark pop over their head because they're all like, "Oh wait, we have two sides of the field."
Who do you got? Who you covering?
Yeah, and you could just see oh yeah, they knew on that one.
Oh, Connor Fields is like you say all the time about Tony. The stick has eyes. That stick, it just put that ball right where it was.
Yeah, and this was just a beautiful goal. This is Rochester's sixth goal of the game. This is Launchberry. He's got a dunk on this one.
Yeah.
And just running around and dunks it over the top. And that's why I put this little guy up, because it's like, what are you going to do? That's just a beautiful play. The guy's chasing him around. He can't get to him. He forces him down low, which is what you want to do. You don't want to give him the angle going to the net. And sometimes guys just make beautiful plays.
Watch this shot right here. He bounces that thing. I'm telling you, it breaks at least a foot.
Right, and also watch right here on this switch. He gets the screen. Nobody slides up, and by the time the slide comes up, it's too late. But yeah, that's a crazy shot.
When I was watching it, I could see it. It broke. Dougie stepped to one area to where he thought it was going to be. As soon as that rotation, he's got that twist on his wrist there. As soon as that ball hits, it just like it takes off a whole different direction than what Dougie thought it was.
Yeah, no,
Crazy.
that's a crazy shot. It's a beautiful shot by Launchberry. He was on fire,
He
especially
was
early. And
early
again, you're
on.
going to see nobody on his hands again. They let him run, and by the time the slide gets up there, it's a common tread.
It is. And props to Rochester's face off the first half. Nardella was he wasn't there in the first period.
Nardella did
Second
not
period.
have his best game defensively
No.
either. You'll see a couple of those. I wasn't really pointing out guys, but he was definitely on that. But that's a beautiful quick stick from Ty Kurtz, who continues to look good.
He looks great. He looks great. All of them do.
Yeah.
They're playing a great ball.
No, it was a great game. And like I said, I have always said as a fan too, I don't mind if I go to a game and the game is competitive and fun. I mean, yes, you want your team to win, and yes, you want to make it to the playoffs and you want to go on. But a game like that, that's super competitive and it goes right down to the wire, it's an entertaining game. Everybody got some good lacrosse. We're getting all the fans hooting and hollering. Yeah, and like Josh just said in the comments, Rochester is hot right now.
They are. They are. They're in that 8th spot right now, are they not? I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're up there.
But I mean, when you look at it, they were down 8-2 before they started coming back. Albany's offense just kind of was in a little bit of a slump. They weren't. They got that goal from an outside shot, and then kudos to Rochester's defense shutting them down.
Well, Connor Fields is definitely not the only player on that team. Smith he's stepping in. I know a couple weeks back I was hammering that guy.
Yeah,
and
I love
all of a
watching
sudden
that.
he's on fire.
I love watching that kid. He's one of my favorite players. He is so much fun. He's a monster too. But look at that move and a beautiful pass over. And when he scored that, I did not think Walker was going to score that. There was no angle left over there. He snuck it in between. There was no room.
The joy of lacrosse. You think you got it as the goalie, and how the hell did that get in?
Yeah, and then you got Sam Firth on the fast break. We get a good shot of Josh right there, banging on the glass, getting him going. I tell you, the fans, it doesn't look as good on the camera, but they're starting to get better attendance-wise. I think Albany's got to be happy. They've been really pounding the social media and stuff. I think it seems to be working. They're getting some people. The crowd was good. They were hooting and hollering at there was a lady sitting next to us, and I can't repeat on YouTube some of the stuff she said to Hutchcraft, but yeah, I was dying. It was
Mrs. Noecker and her would sit in the sit nice next to each other. I'm sure.
Yeah.
They let them know how it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was funny at one point. Yeah, we get going, but I mean, there's another shot. You just see time and space, and that outside shot. Dougie is not great on that. The defense has to put pressure on guys. When you see these guys wide open, he plays tight in, and the whole way their team plays together is based off them pressure in their hands, not giving them those clean outside shots. Dougie's able to he'll make the big save when guys get beat, especially down low. He's a big goaltender, which is why he gets away with it. But this was a beautiful goal from Paulus. That was
the outside.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Just quick and boom.
Dougie had 50 saves on the night. So, I mean, it's not like he didn't do his part. He had 50 saves, and they still, put 14 in? 13 in? No, 11.
Yeah, they had 61 shots on goal. And honestly, talking about that, though, when you look at the Firewolves, they had 50 shots on goal. So Rochester got a shot essentially every possession, every possible possession, because if you look at the entire game is 60 minutes, right? So you've got a shot a minute. If you have one possession, that's 30 seconds. Yeah, so it was crazy.
And that's what you're hoping for offensively. That means you're moving the ball, you're getting your runs, you're getting your touches, but you got to make sure that the goalies are making the saves. Dougie, I'm sure, definitely wishes he had a couple of those outside shots back that he missed, but that's how you play the game.
That's the nature of the beast, though. I mean, it's gonna happen. You're gonna have those nights. And honestly, though, with 61 shots, really 11 goals isn't bad. I think Albany just didn't get their offense going quite fast enough.
Rochester went on that run. They went on the 5-goal run, and they didn't answer with anything to answer back with anything.
Yeah, Bella blamed Charity. Was like, obviously it's her fault that we didn't win because we were a little late, so we missed the beginning, and they weren't fired up because we weren't there to yell at Hutchcraft. So I'm sure Josh did his part. His attendance was just under 42. And then when you look at the Buffalo attendance, they had 4,000 or 14,000, which was their least attended game.
No, I thought that it said that they had 18,000
for this one, but Buffalo's least attended game this year was 14,000.
Yes, yes, yes. They had 18,400 something at this one.
18,400 something at this one. Matty Vince is back and better than ever, you would think, but right off the bat, Tom Schreiber gets a couple in. And I tell you, Bushi looked amazing at the beginning of the game. Schreiber looked good. I thought this was going to be Toronto's game, but this goal, oh my goodness, Chase Frazier.
He gets up. That's a big man right there. Look at him running through the air. He's an air walker.
Yeah. No, and he Rose, they didn't have a ton of shots early. And Rose, they ended up settling out, and Buffalo's offense kicked it on. But Buffalo, they're a slow starting team. In this play,
they have been all year year long. They've been slow.
So the first time I watched this, you watch Dane Smith charge at Rose, and you're like, oh man, he kind of took him out. When you watch it again, he really does a pretty good job avoiding it.
Even after Rose stepped out towards him, he still was able to make that inside to get off of him. Yeah, that's definitely on the goalie, I thought.
Absolutely no. I think Dane Smith could have laid him out, but he did the right thing there and tried to jump over the top of him. But
what a move! What a shot! Oh, all one motion.
It's so fast, it's insane. But this is why they missed Matt Vince right there. Because did you see him yelling at the player? That's something that new goalie is not doing like Matt Vince does. And yes, when you look at it, they had a very similar save percentage, but Matt Vince gets on the defense and they don't make mistakes like this again where there's nobody putting any pressure on him. All he's doing is putting his stick in his face. And
come on now.
Yeah, look at him. What are you
Wake up. Wake up.
And that's what I think you're missing with Matt Vince. Yeah.
You got to be on Small all day.
Well, Small's had a pretty hot stick this year. He's been playing good, but Josh Byrne, man.
Even this game, he was hot.
Yeah, no, he was. Josh Byrne just does Josh Byrne things, though. He is so much fun to watch. He's one of those rare, just freaks of nature athletes, just so fast. But look at this. I love this one in slow motion. Rose dives all the way past the net. Tohoka just pulls up. But look at Brad Cree. What are you doing here, Cree?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, what are you doing? Yeah, no, the defense was missing some guys. They definitely need to play a full 60. Back in the Albany, Josh commented. I wanted to touch on that, though. So Leo Sturos, he wasn't there. I actually was kind of impressed with that trainer. He had a pretty good game. They had another guy, too. Didn't quite have the game. That trainer's in great shape, though. He's
Trainers, that's the one from the Las Vegas they traded for?
Yeah, he's fast. I think that was a good pickup. Albany needs to play a full 60. Definitely. Josh is 100% right. I think that is a big part of the problem. But yeah, no, this game was so much fun to watch. It was back and forth, and every time it seemed like maybe Toronto was going to win, Buffalo does. Like this one, Dane Smith just breaks his ankles. He looks so bad.
He was on fire. He definitely came ready to play, put the boys on his back, and all of them did. What a move.
To tie the game, too, though.
He didn't even touch him. That was pure ankle-breaking move right there.
But look at this guy. I forget who it is. He jumps out of the crease. I think it's that Clark. But so the defense, Brad Cree does a good job pushing him into the net. But look at how smart he is. He sees him coming, and he prioritizes getting out of the crease. He's out clearly before the shot. We can look and see the ball still in his stick. They made a good call on that one. Smart play by Clark. Beautiful play by Dane Smith, and it ties the game. And then really it just, Bushi comes back here in a second. And Bushi, this is another one of those goals. This pass from Schreiber, just a little behind the back flip. And you can barely see. He sticks that near side. That's crazy.
The defender just missed that by inches, and then a twister to end it.
But you talk about this all the time. So the defender, this is where, so when you go for the pass, you're trying to make the decision. Do you want to reach up and pick that ball? But if you miss big, and you leave somebody like Bushi with his hands free. So that's McKay, and he definitely scores and makes up for it plenty of times. But if he's on Bushi's hands, Bushi can't shoot that. Look at how far his hands are out and away, and he's got, he's right here. If McKay was over the top and got up in his face, he could have stopped it, but a beautiful play by Bushi. And now it's like, okay, Toronto. And then less than, it's like 30 seconds later, something like that, I believe. Yeah, Matthews is going to score.
Another great play.
Yeah, but this save right here.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, we missed I didn't have the Matthews goal, but this goal by there's McKay.
Mix it up all one motion once again.
Yeah.
Made
That,
sure he didn't touch, step in, boom.
no, like I said, that's Ian McKay making up for he should have had the other. He should have stopped that guy on the last one. So he says, "Hey, I got you, Vince. You're right. You don't need to scream at me anymore. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you."
I missed you. I missed you. I missed you.
Yeah, and now it's all tied up, and look at this. How?
Just snuck it in.
Again, though, that's watch. As soon as he comes down, he realizes Creed just does one of those little stick checks at him, and as soon as his feet set, he goes, "Okay, I'm out." And that's so hard because what are you going to do out there? Because if you don't get on him, he's going to rip it.
Well, you got to take a different approach, obviously. As an offensive guy, he's waiting for that off-center to, get the guy off his mark so that he can make his play, and he did. He had one hand on the stick, so you're losing that velocity of your stick to push the guy out, and he got underneath him and take off.
Yeah, and I think Josh is right in the comments. We'll get out of that in a little bit when we get out of the standings. But yeah, this was another big game. So this was a crazy game. I don't know if you watched any of this, Paul, but
this one I didn't. I did not.
Oh my goodness. So San Diego comes out on fire. The San Diego offense is just tearing it up in the first. And then kudos to Calgary for coming back, and they do a good job.
Calgary is on fire too.
They were.
Calgary
okay, was.
See, I don't even like, as far as you can't see the ball.
No, this was
I
crazy.
didn't even see that. Did you see that shot right there? I did not see that shot where the ball was on that shot right there.
Well, yeah, watch. So this is a crazy play, Curtis Dixon. So when I watched this replay here, you see the ball bouncing. I thought, watching on the big screen at home, I was like, I think that crosses the line. But when they look at it from the overhead view, must be they don't see it. I think it's because it's bouncing in the air. But right here, it clearly looks like a goal. I'm getting ready to send Owen a message because Owen loves this guy. It's his buddy. It was his first ever professional interview too. Owen interviewed Curtis Dixon. He just scored 1,000 points. I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be crazy. But they called it back. The ref was saying goal, but no siree.
No goal.
No, but it's okay. They're going to make it up. Yeah, like I said, they were on fire in the first half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's what I mean. But even that, they laid him out, and he still got the shot off. But Calgary's defense, that was actually, did you catch that? So he hits the one guy, and it goes back into, he lays back into his head. It doesn't even really look like he's doing it intentionally, but as soon as he turns around,
his backside hip, blast him into the back. Boom.
Yeah, he clearly does not.
Knee
to
the back of the head.
Nothing ended up getting called there, but it definitely doesn't look like a malicious play.
Definitely wasn't worth any type of 5 if they went with the malicious 5. I love how they are reviewing that play, though.
I love how it's automatic. You just see most of the refs because it's so much easier to call it. Go in there, watch the replay. Okay, sorry, I was wrong. We turn it back over versus calling a 2 without then they can't review it.
Exactly. Great rule change, and hopefully they keep stuff like that, making the game better.
Yeah. So actually, this was I think Simpson's only goal, and the transition game. This was I want to say one of the only games Del Bianco hasn't had an assist. But look at that beautiful behind the back. That was just like, excuse me, sir.
And the stats is standing there going, nice job. I taught you well.
Yes.
Captain.
Yeah. So that's Westberg, and then Tyler Pace is going to get this one here. But, I mean, nobody touches him. And that's just 5-on-5 lacrosse. A power play. But oh, man, so much time in front.
I got a question, and there's obviously a rule, but are they allowed to use a yellow ball? Something different in this facility. You can't see the ball moving.
That would be nice. It's tough
other than,
watching their games.
it's definitely very difficult.
Well, it was funny because on Twitter too, Del Bianco said something criticizing the Saskatchewan turf, the rush turf, and I was like, "Are you serious, bud? You have the worst turf. Yours is
buddy.
just as bad." But look at this goal by Stotts.
Stotts, just air Stotts, baby.
Keeps his foot out, dumps it over the top. Unfortunately, the camera view, I wish they panned in on Stotts. I'm sure after that goal, he was going nuts.
I'm sure he was. Austin, Air Austin, take off.
Yeah, so you see, though, it's 6-2, and they end up winning this game 7-5. So they only score one goal in the third quarter. Essentially, I tell you, Calgary's defense stepped up and did a great job. Del Bianco played pretty good when you look at the shots on goal. He had 54 saves, so they definitely tested him a little bit. But San Diego does a good job not San Diego. The Roughnecks do a good job putting pressure on.
Yep.
Though they play that kind of style like Albany does. So when they're good, they're on your hands. Yeah, sometimes you get beat like that, and you leave the goalie open, but you're hoping that he can make them saves. And yeah, Calgary at this point, I know Owen is definitely going to tell me he thought they were going to win. And then
Nice
you see
setup.
this play. This was so 6 seconds left. They score this. This is the only goal they get in the third. They don't score again. That's why I said the end right there. That's the end of their scoring. It was a beautiful quick stick by Leclerc, but unfortunately, that's all they were good for.
Not enough in the tank.
No, and kudos to Alighieri, though. I mean, he didn't have as many saves, but he stepped up. What did he have? 40 saves, I think it was, or 35. So not as many. The game definitely could have been closer, but I think kudos to Del Bianco with his 54 saves in the defense. Calgary's offense has got to do a better job if you want to, if you're gonna make a run at this at some point.
Yeah. As far as that definitely was a step backwards.
Yeah. And then we got OJ in the comment. I could see him thinking, yeah, see, I 100% agree with Josh on this. I think this Saskatchewan rough turf is terrible. When you watch it, it's just, it's like, what were you guys thinking?
I'm sorry. This is better than what we just watched.
You think
you're
so?
going to be out? I think so. You can see the ball.
All right, OJ.
Ball.
See, and it's different where OJ sits though, because he's sitting right down on the floor, so he can see the ball move just fine. It's definitely the camera or when you're sitting up, because I noticed when they get a down low view, you do see a better job. It's easier to see the ball.
Or when it's behind or it's moving from behind to the top side, you can see the ball because it's a different color than what the turf is.
Yeah, and this Larson Sundown, look, this was so fast. I was just so impressed with this. That's why I clipped it. His dunk after is nice. He dives across the crease. It's a beautiful goal. This is one of those guys. So I saw him play in a tournament, and then he went up and played a Six Nations game, and then came back and played more in that tournament the next day. This guy just loves lacrosse and plays all over the place. And he is
you
so
want to know
much
what?
fun to watch.
That's why they're pros, man. Because there's nothing. They bleed. There's many guys out there that bleed lacrosse. These guys bleed lacrosse.
Yeah, you're talking going from Buffalo up to Six Nations. Yeah. I know it's not that far, but it's still far, and you're playing 2 games during just insane. An absolute specimen of an athlete. And he passes it out, and you see both defenders go out because it's Jeff Teat, and Jeff Teat had 4 goals as well. We should talk about that New York game a little bit. I tell you, I honestly think so. When you look at it, Saskatchewan had 43 shots on goal. Dunkerley, 26 saves. He's not having his best game. He's a young kid. He's going to have these nights. I still don't think this was a big knock against New York. They were still able to score 15 goals. I don't think it was a bad game for New York. I think their goalie had a bad night.
Who's their backup?
I don't even know. We'll check.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm getting at. As far as you gotta, if you got the one trick pony, you got to keep the pony running.
Will Johnston. But no, it's the other thing is, so Cam Dunkerley's young. I think he's 22, 23.
Yeah, he's a younger kid.
He's a young kid. So, Del Bianco started at 18. You're going to have these games, I think, where these kids take their lumps, and it is what it is. And if you stick with them, I think it'll be worth it. But at this point, I think when I was watching the game, I thought New York was maybe coming back. And then Teat had 4 goals as well.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that New York offense is. I mean, granted, Saskatchewan's defense hasn't been the best this year, but their offense was good. I think they don't always rely on Teat to get a crazy amount of points. They showed it. I think Taggart Clark, he had an assist off that first Larson Sundown goal, so he's fitting in beautifully with the team. That was a big trade right at the deadline. But yeah, you leave Jeff Teat all alone in on your goalie like that, and what do you think's going to happen?
He's gonna take off. He's gonna be your number 1 pick overall.
I still don't know if I'm going. I do like it, but I'm more of a defensive guy. I honestly still think the goalie is what you need. So I think you're honestly, if I'm taking my first pick, I know I said the face-off guy before, but I definitely, yes, we are doing it this week. We're gonna watch it on. Oh, that would be cool. That we're doing meeting on Thursday. So Josh, me and Owen are doing a show on Thursday where we're going to meet and talk about that last game. But yes, we are definitely doing an Albany Calgary preview. And I will tell you right now, our Firewolves coming off of this loss are going to go up to Calgary and they're going to smoke them. No offense, OJ, but you'll see in a little bit. It'll happen. I'm not. I'm feeling good about it, but you never know. Hey, Calgary, there's so much parity in this league as we're going to see when we get to this next set of highlights here. Everybody thinks
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia's. Yeah,
Hell, Philadelphia. We was talking the Swarm, and the Swarm. Everybody's talking the Swarm. Philadelphia steps up and smack.
yeah. And I tell you, Zach Higgins can be that goalie. Dobson had what, 40? Yes. So Zach Higgins had 44 saves, and you see that they pulled Dobson, and Dobson has had good days, but this wasn't one of them.
Not this one. Not this day.
No.
We're gonna go with Goodleaf.
Yeah, but Goodleaf didn't really look too much better. Goodleaf has looked good. He didn't look that much better. I think Philadelphia played good. I think he had a bad night. It is what it is. I think they'll bounce back. I don't think Philadelphia is going to make a run at it, but like we were talking about, this just goes to show the parity in the league, though. But look at this, the quick stick, the way these guys move the ball is just crazy. That Jackson is so much fun to watch. He's one of the guys I do like watching the Georgia game when their offense is on. I mean, what are you going to do? You got Bomberry just walking through the crease like that.
Tiptoeing the line, saying, "Do I want front door? Do I want the back door? Where am I going to put this one?"
That's why I say I don't think Philadelphia is a real contender. Zach Higgins is playing good, and even when he plays good, they're barely getting by.
Yeah. Well, Arestas Terrace is dishing the ball. You gotta like when the big man dumps it in off the middle.
He's becoming a playmaker, and a big thing for them was getting Mitch Jones.
Blaze back. Yeah, well, Blaze coming back.
Yeah, Blaze, that's huge. And but Mitch Jones, 4 goals.
Yeah.
That's what they need. You don't need 4 goals every night, but you need Mitch Jones to get more goals. He had 5 assists as well. He had 9 points. Mitch Jones looking good. He's been awesome since he came from Vancouver. Vancouver wasn't a good fit for him for whatever reason. Sometimes you see that when they trade players. That's the kind of stuff that happens. But yeah, no, I think Georgia's, that, like, those shots right there, you want your goalie to make. Yeah, it's tough.
He's balls width away from the pipe. I mean, you can't. These guys they're so damn good.
But again,
rip them like
Resetarich comes out of the corner and nobody's on his hands.
Free shot.
And yes, Calgary needs a win too. I understand what you're saying, OJ. I don't think it's going to matter though. I still think Albany's going to go up there and handle business. But now this one I didn't get a chance to really go through very much, but I did clip it. I recorded it, and this goal though was sweet. I saw that as I was setting things up.
Hannah behind the back.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm still surprised, Birdie. He was on the roster, but he was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
I don't
know what's going on. I think they just don't like the fit. There must be something that they're not liking. I like when he comes out of the defensive door. I thought we clipped him. He was playing good defensively. He's great in transition. And on Josh's comment there, the Swarm, they definitely They always draw good, but I mean, you got Lyle Thompson down there, and so when you've got Thompson and Q and Zach Miller and Jackson, and I mean, that's just so much fun to watch that offense. It's like Albany. With the offense that Albany has going, you're gonna see this fan base grow as long as their offense can consistently do it. That's what fans want to see. I mean, those of us that really dive into the stats and love watching these games, you pay attention to the defense. Like a lot of times with the goals, you're like, okay, this guy got beat. Or sometimes you're like, wow, that was just amazing. I don't know what you expect to do. But you kind of see the defensive breakdown and you look at it more. But your regular fan that just shows up and watches a game and doesn't really have a clue what's going on, he wants to see fights. He wants to see beautiful goals and highlight saves. He doesn't want to see solid defensive play because that's not, as TV friendly, I guess I'll say.
Well, it's definitely makes it more cheerable when you see a guy get popped and he's curled up. I love the sport now. I've gotten into it, and just what you're allowed to do in the box versus field. The speed, the tempo, everything is a go, 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 go. Even a ball out of play, ball bounces back into play. They blow the whistle. They blow the whistle. There's no delay. You can't beat it.
Yeah. And we got Hall and Oates. Yeah, Rochester would have as many fans as Buffalo if they had a better arena. That Buffalo arena is sweet because it can fit a ton of people, but you're not spread way out. You're in nice and tight. You're sitting up high on top of it. It's
Rochester. I got to say, in regards to that that comment, Rochester did have that fan base. They moved it to Halifax. That Halifax is a Rochester. Those fans that were up in Halifax, they were coming down to watch the Nighthawks, the Nighthawks back when Cam Bomberry was playing, Neil Paulus was playing in those days. They had a lot of people traveling. I went there. I was actually at the very first game, the Swarm's very first game with the Thompson brothers when they all brought them out for first time in Rochester. The place was packed. Swarm won that game, but great stuff.
Didn't you
Rochester,
play? So you guys played out in the Rochester one last year, right?
Yeah, Bang did. Yep.
Bang did. So that was the and this year they're playing the Laxney team out there.
He
keeps trying to get me to go out, but they need to make sure they do it on a Firewolves game, so I'll really want to go. And it's always on one of my kids' birthdays or their weekends. So
Yep.
It's tough to be like, sorry guys, I'm going out to Rochester to film this, even though our season hasn't really kicked off and we're not, we'll see you again in the fall.
It's as far as Cooper puts up a nice tournament there, you get to play a full game there against the Bats, very good team, and hopefully the Laxney All-Stars have a good put together.
Yeah, and look at this goal.
I'm more interested in the one down in Onondaga.
Yeah, the nation's are the Northeast Invitational.
Northeast Invitational.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited. Actually, so a big part of the reason why we don't have longer game highlight clips is I've been doing a ton of research. We've got a lot of we might have actually just found a investor too, and we are upgrading a lot of equipment.
Awesome.
So I have been spending the last couple days. I'm back standing at the desk. I can't sit down, which kind of sucks, but I have been shopping away.
You're like that Pat McAfee. You're like Pat McAfee. You're up, you're moving around, you're all about it, teacher.
Yeah.
I love it.
And honestly, though, this was a great game. These are two teams that are kind of at the bottom of the league, but like Charlon Beatty's, watching him live, oh my goodness, he's so much bigger and faster than he looks, when you're watching the game on TV.
He's a big boy.
Oh my goodness.
He's a big boy. And Vancouver's a very good team. I mean, where's the Mammoth? That's a very good team. These are good teams. They got great players. That's how the parity. You said it, I don't know, half an hour ago. The parity.
Yeah, we've talked about it once or twice throughout it's crazy. But I mean, that game, the Vegas game, Jackson went off.
Yeah.
Casey Jackson had 8 goals. Charlon Beatty's had 4. and is eclipsed by 4 goals. That's just nuts when you're looking at the, looking through the NLL spreadsheet. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's nuts. But yeah, no, I really enjoy watching Charlin Beatty. He's one of those players. He really bangs into the net. Like when he comes, he's coming hard.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
Right
Great
there.
pick
Boom.
right there. Knocked him off, got his hands free, got underneath the defenseman. Later, Kells.
Eyes up and just a beautiful, yeah. The and right there again though, you without being on somebody's hands, I don't know how you can.
Unless you're 4'9" by 4 foot in a big square, you're not stopping those, man. I mean, those guys are walking right in, and where do I want? Right, left, right, left.
Kells is not happy. Are you fucking kidding me, bud?
Nor should he be.
No.
Nor should he be. That one might have been on him, though.
Yeah, but he's got to blame somebody. It's got to be somebody else's fault. No, like I said, it's interesting the way you see the style of the goalie. Some of them do talk to the defense. Some of them yell at them. Everybody's got their own little programs and superstitions that they kind of go through. The guys, it's actually one of my favorite things about watching it live is you notice every goalie's got a routine. Dunkerley takes his gloves out every time, puts them on his knee pads.
Yep.
Yeah, Hutchcraft, he's got the lean.
What a pass.
Oh, my goodness. That was insane.
What a pass. Had the goalie twisting around, not knowing, right in front of the goalie's eyes.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at, wow.
The goalie did, there's no proper positioning for that right there. Do you try and grab it, or you're stepping out thinking it's a shot, but it's a pass behind you?
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah.
This is what
I mean. 4 minutes left in the game. 4 minutes 39 seconds. It's still tied.
Yeah,
that's a good game back and forth up in Vancouver.
And Kirst has looked good all year, really. So for him to get beat like that by Charlin Beatty was a bit of a surprise. Great ISO play by Vancouver, moved him to the side. But no, I've been a big fan of the Kirst boys ever since we watched him at Laxney there for Team USA. Every one of those Kirst brothers is an amazing player. If your last name's Kirst, it automatically just means you're a great lacrosse player. I didn't understand it. Now I'm starting to kind of grow with the the lingo of learning that. But that one was...
when you got all these brothers, usually as they in their pros, as you go through, the younger or the better and better because they took those ass whoopings all them years.
It's true, you're just playing all that time and getting after it. And well, the biggest thing is, so it's, iron sharpens iron. We all talk about it. You go play tough competition. The reason like you're going to the Northeast Invitational isn't because you think you're going to win it. It's because you're going to size the team up. You want to play against good competition. You want to have solid refs and all of it, it's what makes you a better player.
That's what it's all about. As far as the older guys want to play with the younger guys need those reps. We're excited to get into the Invitational and see what we have. The one thing that does suck, and I'm sure everybody has that on their roster as far as a lot of our players are coaches as well. So
it's tough for the spring season. The spring season's tough as guys are getting going because you don't really know. Most of these guys that are into lacrosse, you're probably not playing men's league lacrosse if you're not coaching. You get some young guys, but for the most part, everybody's involved in a team or they've got kids that play. So it is tough with the early season. Plus, you've got some of these guys that are staying healthy up in the Arena League. So it'll be interesting to watch. Plus, they're playing summer rules. No crease dives.
Oh, no crease. Well, that's it. We have a meeting on Wednesday night. Ron has a meeting with all the player or teams participating.
Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that yet. He's going to go over everything. Me and Ron, we're announcing stuff. We're ready to go. I'm, like I said, super excited about a bunch of stuff we've got coming. Blue Squatch is hopefully going to be better and better every game. I'm really looking forward to it. But now let's look through these standings. And as a Firewolves fan, last year, even though like we all talked about it, everybody at the games knew as the draft picks come in, we're going to look better and better. Josh, is there any chance you thought we'd be sitting here with 10 wins? I figured we were going to be looking better, but honestly, I was going to be happy competing for like the 7th, 8th place And now we're talking about the Albany may lock it in, and it's been a crazy year. Toronto looked good, but Buffalo looked like the Buffalo of old. Matt Vince is back, and you seen what he was able to do.
He leads his team. When you have your quarterback, it's like having your backup quarterback. If you want to use a football analogy, having a backup quarterback in there. When you don't have your starter in there, it's usually not a good thing.
Well, it's not just how good he is. It's like you said, the leadership there, the way he goes through,
talks his defense through a pick.
Holds everybody accountable, screams at him, tells them the only thing you did was set a screen there, stupid. Get out of my way.
Knows the tendencies of these shooters though too. Do the younger guys take? They don't have the 15 times I've played against this guy. The 30th time I played against this guy. You learn the big time guys. Your shooters. You're on mute.
Sorry, I was taking a sip of my brand wide distillery. Check out the sponsors. They're on Facebook. That'll hook you up, and it helps me make through the pain through the end of the night as we're standing here finishing this up. Sorry about that, but Halifax, they've been looking good too.
Halifax, is Jammer's looking younger and younger as the other guys are stepping up. I think I like a lot. Bushy as well. Not Bushy. What's his name? Yeah, Bushy, isn't it?
No, Bushy used to play for him. He doesn't anymore.
That's right.
Peterson.
He's on
We're talking
now.
Clark
Right.
Peterson.
Clark Peterson. That's who I'm talking about.
No, Halifax. Yes. But granted, it was Panther City, but Panther City's been looking good too. I tell you, there's no easy outs, but as we count them out, so we've got Toronto still in the top spot. Buffalo was able to get by them, but I don't think Buffalo can expect their offense to get quite that many goals every night against Rose. Definitely not Rose's best performance. San Diego, though, Calgary. As you look at that, that's still really good sign for Calgary or for San Diego's defense and Allegri being able to keep the shots down, keep the goals down, but their offense only scoring 7 goals. That's not going to fly against a lot of these high-powered offenses.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And you got to make sure you got the goalie.
Yeah, I honestly, I always think it's goalie. It comes down to that more than anybody ever gives it credit. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's boring if you're only really talking about how good your goalie is. But if you have a goalie that makes 5 extra saves in a night, that's huge. 5 saves, that's, that's a tenth of the shots usually most nights. And that's a lot of shots. You get 50, 60 shots. You're like, okay, that's a pretty good number. And if you can get, if they score 10 goals on 60 shots, you're like, okay, 50 saves, that's doable. You put us in a position to win. And now when you get 55, it's like, ooh, that's a lot.
You're going to tell me Dougie wouldn't have liked to have had 55 instead of 50, and all that right there says they win.
Yeah, no, it does. And all right, so as we look at the standing now, Panther City's at the bottom. I'm trying to move so you can see it. So Panther City's at the bottom. I still think New York is going to be the team that comes up out of the bottom. Obviously, I know OJ's comment is going to be that Calgary is definitely going to be the team coming up out of the bottom. But who do you think's coming out of the bottom, Paul? Colorado now is really put themselves behind the 8 ball. I don't know if they can handle a run this late.
It's Philadelphia, New York. Which one?
Yeah.
Philadelphia, New York.
Yeah. No, all right. So let's talk about that trade a little bit. So, Wagner is supposed to be good. I was impressed watching Wagner. Is he worth the first round pick? Well, I would think at this point in the year, they probably didn't see anybody offensively that, they've already got Dyson Williams coming in. Who else are you bringing in? And unless you bring in a goalie, and I tell you, I didn't think Getty's played bad his couple of games in. He's a solid second. Do you want Getty to be your starter? No, but Dougie's been there. He's been pretty consistent. He's had a couple of rough moments, but I think you can count on Dougie.
You could definitely say I don't think it was Dougie's issue. I don't think the defense played as well as they have in the weeks past.
Colton Watkinson and Leo Sturos not being there was a huge loss. They were very noticeable. Sturos picks up a bunch of loose balls, but Watkinson not only the loose balls, but he's the captain and the leader of that team. He's the physical brute that usually goes and steps up if somebody's messing with the guys on the team. That was a bigger mental loss than anything else, I would say.
Well, yeah. How many goals does he have this year? Those transition goals have been huge as well.
Yeah, Colton Watkinson's good with that, but even more than the goals, he gets a lot of assists. I actually like he's one of those guys when he gets up there. If you see him come up the floor, he will score or take a shot, especially if it's a breakaway or maybe a 2-on-1. But when you get those like the offset, it's not really. It's more of a fast break than it is a like a breakaway.
A trend. Yeah.
So like it's not really settled offense, but he gets up there and he's going to throw 2 or 3 screens to let the defense know he's down there. They are gonna know he's been down there. Yeah, it's a guarantee. But I honestly, basically after the way the draft has looked this year, I put 100% faith in anything Glenn Clark does with the team, and I'm guessing he picked Wagner, and I was happy watching Wagner. I thought Trainer looked pretty good, but I think Watkinson and Sturos were missed. They're both veteran players that. And when you look at it, took the team a while to respond. It wasn't until after halftime that they really started coming back, and that was noticeable. And that's, you get in the locker room, they got a young team, but I thought there was a lot of positives. I think it was good that the team stepped up, but I honestly think now as you look at, Rochester, okay, Rochester was on a bit of a slump, but their defense stepped up pretty big there. They were able to hold Albany, in the first. You got to give them credit. And if their defense can play like that, Hutchcraft, he's played good enough for when he needs to. He's not Ryan Hartley, but
is that a potential playoff matchup to start the playoffs?
Yeah, that could be. That could be.
They're near the bottom. Albany is near the top. I got to say that there is that potential.
There is, and I think whoever gets Rochester is going to be tough, but I don't think Rochester, even if they stay in, I don't think they're going to make it out of the first round. I don't think Hutchcraft is quite there yet. I do really like Hutchcraft. I think just like I was talking about with Dunkerley in New York, and honestly, the same could go for either team. They're very similar as far as that. They've got the young goalies. Their defense can step up and do good. Oh, producer Joe, welcome to the show. Nice. Thanks for joining. We're glad you're pumped up. But I honestly think they're both in the same position when you talk about New York and Rochester. Both young goalies, and when they play good, the team wins. Both have offenses that are amazing. Defenses, New York's got a lot more upside, I think, with the younger defense. I mean, Rochester's got some good young pieces, but yeah, I don't think they're quite as built for the future. I think it's so tough with these young goalies because you're going to go through your lumps. Do you stick with them, or when do you start shopping around? They still don't have a strong second.
Who's getting rid of anything that is no team's getting rid of any of their goalies at this point in time in the at this hard point in the year.
Josh says he thinks Rochester has the best offense in the league, and I tell you, Josh, that when you look at the goals for, I think it's Halifax by a bunch. Yeah, Halifax scores a lot when. So when you look like they're 181, Rochester, I think, can have the best offense in the league. When Ryan Smith is playing good and Waters is playing, that offense can be. The whole key to that, though, is Connor Fields not acting like he needs to do everything.
Yeah.
When he starts forcing shots and Connor Fields is taking 20 shots a night instead of 15, like with 15, your big shooters, you expect them to take that. You're going to take between 10 and 15 shots a night, depending on how it goes. Once you start getting into that, 20 plus shots, it's like, ooh, are you forcing them? Especially with all the pieces they have. But McConvey looks great. Launchberry looked amazing. Yeah, Rochester could totally come around. And if Hutchcraft gets hot, yeah, I totally, you are right, Josh, when you say that their offense looks, they could be the best offense in the league. And I don't think that's, a far reach to say. It's not a big stretch.
Definitely not. Smith, like I said, I was hounding him a couple weeks back, and what's he, number 3, 4 on the scoring list?
Yeah, when we look through, but when you look at goals against here, check this one out. So New York 182, They have had some big time losses though. They've given up a couple 20-goal games. Dunkerley has had a couple of rough outings.
I'm sitting
But
there. I tell you, you want to what props to the NLL? Their website is pretty
it's
cool
amazing, right?
to.
When you click
It's
it
great
through, you
stuff.
just want to go through, sort things. You can sort by goals. I love this because I'm looking at the standings. So when I go back to the wins, it'll sort it back out that way. You can go by percentage. It's yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of the NLL website, as everybody probably knows that watches this show. I mean, I'm constantly we basically just kind of screenshot it behind us as we're talking about this stuff. But yeah, Rochester could. So all right, Josh, I gotta ask. You look at the bottom of the thing, or anybody else in the comments, who's gonna make it out of the bottom? As we look at the bottom of the teams, who's got the fire pick for coming out of the bottom? Does anybody think Vancouver or Colorado or Las Vegas? Is any 4-win team gonna make it to the playoffs?
I
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
And
You know,
I
as
think
much,
Calgary really needs to turn it around. That was a big loss. They had a that when they lost to it was what, Vancouver a couple weeks ago. That was like, ooh, it's not going to be good.
yeah,
But he wins. It's
yeah.
always easy. So as we look at the games going forward this week, Buffalo is playing Panther City, and that is no guaranteed win for Buffalo. Panther City's looked good. They just had a pretty good showing last week against Halifax. Yeah, they didn't come out with the win, but you never
It's
know.
on the road. It's on the road. You know, they going to travel? Are they all going to get on the plane and get down to just outside of Dallas?
Yeah,
Buffalo and Dallas. You know, it's not that isn't a favorite Buffalo spot. That's for sure.
no, they have not always done good. Obviously, Albany's going to Calgary. Join me and Owen on Thursday. We'll be talking about that Thursday night. So you've got Halifax and Toronto Rock. That's a big game for the East,
Huge
for
game.
the top. Toronto, after just losing to Buffalo, is definitely going to want to win. Halifax is going to want to try to put it together. They haven't really put big winning streaks together. They've been pretty spotty. They I don't know. Halifax, I feel like is that Rock team though. They just, they're going to take a ton of shots. They're going to get a ton of goals. My question always is, how good is their
Hill,
goalie going to be in the playoffs?
Hill,
How good is
Hill.
Warren Hill going to be in the playoffs?
Yeah.
And when Hutchison gets in, one day he came in and Hutchison looked great. And then the next game after that, it was like, ooh, you definitely need Hill to get hot because that's not going to work.
And he does get hot. I mean, how many? You've done so much video work this year in regards to the 3 saves in a row. Boom, 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 and it's like,
Yeah.
Hill clearly is a good goalie. It's a matter of the defense needs to pick up those rebounds and make sure they're not getting the third shot.
They leave Hill on an island a lot. You watch
Yeah, they
Hill,
do.
Higgins, and Dobson also gets left alone a lot. That's big. New York needs to go up to Saskatchewan. I think if that could be huge. As we were looking at the standings, they're both right there. That's huge. Rochester definitely needs to beat Colorado if they want to continue going. But I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge for them the way Rochester's looked and the way Colorado's looked. Colorado's got to figure it out. They've always been slow starters, but I think Ryan Lee is a bigger miss than anybody was thinking he was going to be. And Dylan Ward has not played his best. Yeah, we'll look through the saves after in a minute here, but when you look through the goalie saves, I think it's kind of eye-opening. And then the Seals and the Desert Dogs. This would be huge for the Desert Dogs if they could knock
Big
them
one.
off.
Put Birdie in.
Put Birdie in, and let's see what's.
Hey, put Birdie in.
I love it. Put Birdie in. And then we've got a Sunday game, which is always nice, and it's 5:30 Eastern time because it's going to be in Georgia. But no, Saskatchewan, it's a doubleheader for the Rush. The Swarm obviously want to, whenever you play a doubleheader, team that's playing a doubleheader, I guess is what I meant to say, you should be coming out fresh and you should expect your team to win in this league, I would say.
It's definitely, without a question, a bonus for the fresh legs versus the ridden, worn, battled legs. No question.
Yeah, 100%. So as we look through our stat leaders, we have Paul's first pick, which he called at the beginning of the year with Jeff Teat, and he's leading right now with 43. Austin Stotts has been looking amazing. Obviously, they got to figure it out and make sure that they can play the entire game offensively and not just the first half with one little bright spot there and with a minute in the third quarter. That was troublesome looking for their offense. I mean, granted, Del Bianco's good. The defense of Calgary is good, but 1 goal and a half, you're not going to make it through the playoffs with offense like that.
No, not at all. I'm sitting here looking at the stats, going back and forth. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
And when so Connor Fields is sitting at 3. He looks good, but I think the bigger thing right there is you're seeing the 51 assists from Connor Fields, and that's where he's not forcing the shots. I mean, but actually, hang on, I got to check it because he is usually the leader in shots. Yeah, 100%. He is. He's number one. Austin Stotts is too. 184. He's taken 12 more shots than Jeff Teat. But yeah, no, Connor Fields likes to shoot the ball, and he's good at it. But Josh Byrne looking great, and honestly, if Buffalo wants to make a run, their offense has to continue to stay hot, and you would think Josh Byrne, I mean, you watch him when he's on, he's one of those guys. You need him to score 3 goals a game. If he doesn't get a hat trick, Buffalo's offense is struggling.
Well, in my personal opinion, it also comes back to Frazier and Nanitoke. You got the Great Dane, you got Josh Byrne. The other
Burns
two,
consistent. Burns consistent.
Yeah.
Nanticoke, he had a goal in this game, but he has not been Nanticoke. He's been battling some injuries, but it doesn't matter if you're not getting the production. Ryan Smith, though. But when you look through that, you look at which teams have multiple guys up top, and just like Josh said, that Rochester offense, you got Connor Fields and Ryan Smith. And if the rest of that offense kicks off, like if Launchbury, he doesn't even have to play as good as he did against Albany, but if he can get half of that production every night, you're going to be ecstatic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lyle Thompson doing Lyle Thompson things, and yeah, it's a pretty quick drop off though after you get through the top 2. Because when you look at it, it's like, well, yeah, it's only 4 goals. But for one of these guys to have a 4-goal game and the other guy not to score, these guys are pretty much consistently scoring every game.
Now I just found where you were. I'm sitting here clicking buttons, and now there you are.
Yeah, you just click the standings. Now we're on the assist leader. So now we're looking at, and this is where, like I said, this is why when Buffalo, you need those other guys to score because you've got Dane Smith and Josh Byrne up there as your 2 assist leaders going into this. Mark Matthews with the Rock. Bushi needs to stay hot or else the Rock. I think that's what you've seen. Schreiber came back, and now that he's gelling with that offense, that Toronto team is looking good. Bushi needs to continue to score. He had a very slow start to the season, though. And then Calgary Roughnecks, Jesse King is in 4th place, tied with Mitch Jones, another guy who's been great. But Riptide, Jeff T, I love when you see the goal guys up top with that. So Byrne is 2nd in assist and, 3rd in goals? But, yeah, no, that's huge. Alex Simmons, though, they started so hot. I mean, for a little while, we had 4 guys in the top 5, I think, after the first couple games. That I knew that was going to end. There was no way these professional coaches were going to watch all these new kids not get film and start figuring things out. But Halifax, Austin Shanks, that is huge. Getting the production out of Austin Shanks and Clark Peterson.
Peterson's been huge as well. Yes.
Peterson's really starting to come into his own. He's starting to shoot more. He's got 33 goals, which isn't too far off from the top guys. Clark Peterson is huge. He's becoming a way better player. Like I said, Launchbury, though, another guy I've been watching recently. So much fun to watch. Riley O'Connor, he's a former Firewolf. He's one of those guys, I don't know, I feel like he's productive in moments, but he's too inconsistent. He would have some just terrible nights out on the floor where you're like, what are you doing? But yeah. And it's easy for me to say as I'm standing here at a desk just watching, going, come on, bud, get out there. Get it together.
Doing your chance. Love it.
All right, Paul, we've been doing this for an hour.
I know. And I'm sitting here, we could go on for another hour with all these stats that I'm looking at. You're flying through stuff I'm trying to catch up to, and all of a sudden I catch up and you're already on something else.
We're on to the next one. Yeah.
Hey, I got a couple little shout outs as far as there's an opportunity for people to see Ty Hill and Neil Paulus this coming Friday night at the Upstate Sports Network charity Jersey Ball. And as far as they're $100 tickets, they're still available. It's a great opportunity to get out there and see some awesome people, listen to some awesome stories, make some Chinese raffle concepts. Get out there if you can and help support the youth sports.
What's it called again?
Upstate. You're going to do
Sports
this
Ball.
That's Upstate Sports Charities. Upstate Sports Charities.
I'll find it. Make sure. I think I found it. We'll get the link in the description. Oh yeah, it's got the Utica U, like the Pioneers U.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's got to be that. So I'll make sure I throw a link in the description for anybody who wants to check it out. Definitely, we love when anybody gets has a chance to support all this. I wish I could make it out there. You guys were talking about it, and it's pretty amazing. But I forgot though. I did say we were going to talk about the goalies. And
we're talking goalies.
When you look at the saves, this is what I said though. Looking at the saves, so when you look at the saves, it really makes you wonder: is it save percentage or is it saves? Because with the defense, some of them put the high pressure on and they don't give up a ton of good shots. So everything is challenged. Guys don't get clean shots. Guys don't get clean looks, but they give up volume shots, which is one style. And then the other style is where guys kind of get left all alone. And that's where, like if you go through Cooper Perkins' lax metrics, you'll see he breaks it down to like the goalie one-on-ones. And I think he had Zach Higgins is rated as 1 and Brett Dobson was rated as 2. But when you just look at the save total, and you go through, it's no surprise Nick Rose is continuing his goalie of the year run.
Well, it definitely doesn't hurt that he's got the time too. A lot of these guys are getting pulled, whether it's injury or whether it's throw the backup into whatever. But he's definitely putting the minutes up. That's for sure. Same with Ligrieri.
Yeah, no, Ligrieri's been that has been huge for San Diego. They went with him and traded Chigliano to the Rush. Obviously looking like they made the right decision there. He's been looking good. So when you look at the save percentage, though, I think they're both tied. They're all at. I think 80 is the top save percentage when I look through. Yeah, so they're all tied there. But when you look at the saves, it's pretty close. But it kind of makes you wonder: why is Toronto's defense giving up so many shots?
Because they can.
But this is what I mean is I think 10 more shots on Georgia is a huge difference when you look down at Dobson. So Dobson has been pulled several times because of how many shots they get, and that's what I mean is like his goals against average might be 1162, but look at how many saves. Brett Dobson faces a ton of quality shots. I think the Georgia defense is going to be why they don't make the playoffs. Honestly, I think if he was on a better team, Brett Dobson could be goalie of the year. He's had a couple of not so good games. You do need your defense to step up every once in a while and take care of it. But I think the reason his goals against average is so high is because look at the volume.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's a lot. It's a lot. He's getting freaking smoked.
Yeah. It's crazy. But Kells, you were not a big Landon Kells fan. I got to ask you, now that you've been watching more Vegas games, are you more of a Landon Kells fan?
You want to what? I'm a little. I'm disheartened with the coaching with the Vegas. I'm sorry, but Birdie should be in there. I'm horribly biased, but that cat is. You're on mute.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for you to finish talking. That's why I leave it on mute sometimes, so I can, because I start talking over people and it's not good. You got to shut me up, so I mute myself. But no, just with what they traded, I mean that, and I know you're a big Bertrand fan, but that's got to be one of the worst trades ever in the history of the sport.
You want to know what it's a little before my time, a little bit because again, I'm 3 years into this, and we was just getting into it. Got an opportunity to meet him, Family's a great family, and very supportive of the Bertrands.
No, they're awesome, and like I said, it's definitely not a knock on him. It's just how
Oh no,
well the rest of I mean, you have a couple
that left
guys that are
side. You got
they're going to be
a
instant
left
Hall of
side of
Famers. Some of
all world players. You
yeah,
got
some of
all
those
world
guys are
players on your left side. Come on now.
yeah,
He's only been playing box lacrosse at that for what, 3 years now.
yeah. No, it's
So
yeah, it's definitely interesting. So, but this is what I was looking at right here, Dougie. Goals against average for all the guys playing. That's where it starts to Nick Rose 9.5. Alighieri, 9.6. Dougie. That's what it all comes down to every time as a goalie. Orleman, that didn't count. He didn't play long enough. But Del Bianco, and that's where your top teams are going to be. And that's why I think, honestly, the problem with Del Bianco is more, and here's the Upstate Sports Charity just to make sure everybody sees it. So we've got it in there.
that's
Contact
it
them.
right there. Contact them. It's a great opportunity. Helps the kids, gets those that are needing some help, gets them to play the sports they love to play.
And it is now in the description at the bottom of the description. If anybody's looking for a link and would like to donate, I'm sure they would really appreciate the help. Paul, I said we were going an hour like 10 minutes ago.
But see, I told you we wasn't done yet.
Absolutely not. Thank you so
we
much.
We didn't even talk Yeti.
We didn't. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. We got to talk Yeti, of course. So we've had some tryouts, and what is the status of the Yeti now? As we've gotten through first week, we're getting ready for second weekend of tryouts. What do we expect? Did we get some of the young legs, or are some of the young legs still playing college, and they're going to be showing up a little later?
We have some young legs that are running with us. I'm excited to see the guys that can't play because of being on college rosters at this point in time. They're in season,
But they're showing up in shape too.
They're going to show up in shape. The best part about it is they're coming and listening. They're taking advantage of the opportunity to listen to what's going on. They're building some team. They're not on the team at this point in time, but you want to know what? Being able to understand people, how they interact on the fields, the veteran players are going to do a great job getting those guys ready to go if they're needed. And not to say not needed, but we've had 43 guys running the last 2 weeks, so we've had an opportunity to see a bunch of guys. Excited about the goalie play. We got 4 keepers that we have on the roster right now. So goalies, we have goalies. As far as lefties, we have lefties. Righties, we have some righties. Youth, we have some youth. And
we always got Brandon Davis, who could be lefty or righty Davis, depending on what
righty
you need
Davis.
him to do.
Righty Davis is ready to go. Whatever you just put me on the field, coach. Wherever I need to be. Just put me on the field.
And that's also, check out Herkimer Lacrosse. He helps with that. He's one of those guys. We had the videos with him with Coach Tony. So if anybody watched that video, it's on the Yeti channel. If you are interested in trying to play box lacrosse, that's a great place to go. It's a very basic fundamentals. Coach Tony was teaching some of the Tri-City girls. Tri-City is a field organization out in it's Rome, Utica, and
Oneida. It was what the original
Tri-City was.
Yes.
But it obviously encompasses more than that, and everybody's welcome to play. But they took they had the girls out there, and one of the big things, like when I was talking to my daughter, is there's no difference in boys and girls box lacrosse rules.
Rules are the same.
100%.
It's a box stick. It's not a guy's stick. It's a box stick.
Yes.
That's the cool thing. We need to it's there. Our opportunity is now. It's here. We got the coaches. We have people that want to help grow the box game, and we need players. That is what it comes down to. We had a great turnout this past spring with the Tri-City girls. They're now in their field season, so we won't see them until the end of May, start of June. But we're definitely looking to tap into the college girls and the post collegiate in regards to get them playing some box lacrosse, because
worlds are coming to Utica. The worlds are coming. The worlds are coming. Yeah, absolutely. The worlds are coming. I can't be more excited about it than it's going to be a great time. Get out to Utica if you've never been to the Nexus Center. Check it out. The Yeti will be playing there all summer. As soon as the schedule comes out, we'll have it posted. We'll keep you up to date with all the highlights. But also check out the Utica Yeti page. It's where we stream all their games. We're also going to be dropping basically tutorials and lessons and stuff throughout the year with some little notes. And we're going to be running a kind of documentary show on basically how the season goes as we go through, and that'll all be running on the Yeti channel. And we'll kind of keep the NLL and the rest of the other shows on this channel, but that'll be Hardcore Yeti in the summer. So as you're looking for us through the summer, always look on the Utica Yeti Lacrosse channel. Follow them on Instagram. Paul, anything else you want to tell us before we sign off here?
Greg, I got to tell you one thing, dude. You're rocking. Keep doing what you're doing, because you want to know what? You're doing great. I can't thank you enough. I know the guys that are on here, they're loving it for the fact that, you want to know what? The information that you're putting out there is top notch, dude. It's good stuff. It flows. You got it going. Keep doing it. Ain't no BS. It's all BS.
That's right. BS with the rest, now BS with the best. Have a good night, everybody.
There you go. I love it.
Hello, Yeti Nation. Get down to the Bag Square Brewing Company, downtown Utica. Fay Farms. Where's the beef at? Contact Jimmy Fay. Family Landscaping. Make your neighbors green with envy. Contact Russ. The Black River Ale House, where the Romans go. Dura Products. Who's got the pipe? Jimmy Fay's got the pipe. Contact Jimmy Fay for irrigation, drainage, pool, and spa. You building a new house? Contact Jimmy Fay. He's got your stuff. The B-Dry system. Your basement's wet? Get a hold of B-Dry. Believe in 271. Nobody fights alone. Eric Kiefer, LUTCF, your local representative. George Kaler, Sales and Service. Liberty Affordable Housing. Rome Sign and Display Company. Nice Scoba. The men and women in blue, thank you for what you do. Robert Dix Insurance Agency. Contact Bobby Dix. Tri-City Lacrosse. 40 years of summer fun. Master Vito Hyundai. Contact the sales force. CRM Rental Management. The Clinton Tractor and Implement Company. Contact the Caledona family. Hello, Yeti Nation. Get down to the Bag Square Brewing Company, downtown Utica. Fay Farms. Where's the beef at? Contact Jimmy Fay. Family Landscaping. Make your